Hello, my chalking friends. It's Sunday night chalking. Welcome. I'm making Maria. I am your Chalk Couture independent designer. Welcome to my video tonight. We're actually making a piece of home decor for my own home, which like never happens. And we are going to use a retired transfer. So I will apologize in advance. However, I do have one of them. So if somebody is in love with it and just you need to create this for your own home too, you could just message me and I would be more than happy to sell it to you. Because I do have an extra one of them. But it's a very cool transfer. And it's very fitting for the sentiment that I would like to share with one of my little people today. So that's what we're making. It's a big transfer. It's a very big transfer. It's an E-size transfer, and I have this, not only is the transfer big, but I have this ginormous frame to put it on, which I got on clearance somewhere because there was damage to the actual chalkboard, and my husband just cut me a new chalkboard. I stuck the new chalkboard in it. So it's a really pretty, very ornate, very large frame that was not something I would normally purchase unless it was from Chalk Couture, because I have some very beautiful chalkboards from Chalk Couture that are big and ornate when we used to sell big and ornate chalkboards. But it was on clearance. It was a great deal. He cut me a new chalkboard and off we go. So we are using a very old retired transfer called Darling. I do have one of them if somebody is in love with it. I try very hard not to show you retired transfers because it's not any fun to watch somebody create something that you can't recreate if you want to. But what it says is, Darling, the one thing that I know you have that nobody else has is you. Your voice, your mind, your story, your vision, your heart, your soul. So laugh and sing, dance and play, write and draw, create and build. Love and shine, stay true to yourself, embrace your inner beauty, and remember to live life as only you can. So there's a couple of things about the transfer you'll notice. There's two different fonts, but then there's also in the main text, some of the words are bolded. So you can see they stand out to you more in the actual transfer. So what I think we're going to do is the two different fonts, the Darling and the As Only You Can, we're going to use Frost Shimmer. And the main body, we're going to use Dune, because this is kind of an off-white. It's not a white frame, it's an off-white frame. So there's a couple tips and tricks to large transfers like this. There's also a couple tips and tricks to seasoning a chalkboard. So I'm going to show you tonight how to season a chalkboard, because when you're using chalkboards that aren't Chalk Couture, sometimes it's important to make sure that you do season them. If you're ever going to wash it off, or you think that there might be an opportunity for you to need to correct something, like I always need to do, right? So I'll show you how to season a chalkboard. You do not need to season any Chalk Couture chalkboards. It's not, they're made for our stuff, so you don't have to season those. But I am going to show you how to season a chalkboard that isn't a Chalk Couture chalkboard. So this is a beautiful transfer. It has a great sentiment. The only thing I'm on the fence on is I think I might use gold shimmer instead of frost shimmer. And I have them open next to me. The more I look at Frost and Dune together, I'm thinking we're going to go gold. You know, gold is coming back. It's all over everything, right? We've been looking at model homes, and it is amazing to me. Gold faucets and gold handles. I'm like, didn't we like lose gold eons ago? So this, as you can tell, this is a really big chalkboard, and it makes it, you guys are far away from me today so that I could make it so you could see. So I'm going to stir up my gold shimmer. So we're going to use gold shimmer in Dune. And again, it's because our chalkboard here is kind of a creamy off-white. Dune is actually a little creamier. So it's kind of it's almost in between white and cream. The chalkboard is this part you can see. but white is too stark next to it. So that's why we're going to go with Dune. But this is a beautiful, beautiful sentiment. And I think, why would you ever buy a transfer that's this big with a sentiment like this that isn't necessarily very interchangeable with lots of different things, right? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a gorgeous sentiment. And it's beautiful when created because it has some really nice features in the actual transfer. For example, the bolded words, the different fonts, and the actual sentiment itself. And because of its size, it's a reasonable cost investment. But there are situations where you could create this more than once. First off, it has a lot of words on it. So you could create this in different combinations with different words. It also has just, you know, you could do laugh and sing, dance and play. I mean, you get my drift, right? You could just totally not cut it up literally, figuratively, cut up the words and make different things other than a very large board. We are making it as a large board because it's gorgeous as a large board. Well, hello, Miss Terry from Texas. Thank you for sending me out into the world. I always appreciate that. I forget to ask people to do that. So if anybody wants to do that, that'd be awesome. I always forget. It's just a habit of mine. I'm a creature of non-habits, I guess. So I'm going to take my transfer. I'm going to carefully remove it. Now, the very first time you create with an E-size transfer, I recommend you don't do it by yourself, okay? It is a large transfer, and you're going to watch me, hopefully not do what many people do the first time. You do need to be very careful with it because you don't want your transfer to fold in sticky side to sticky side. So if it folds in upon itself sticky sides and it sticks together, you risk ripping the transfer and putting holes in it when you go to pull it apart. So if you have that happen, the first thing you do is you take it to a sink and you run it under water, cool water, as you gently pull it apart. You'll see me do it and you'll see me not do that because I don't have a sink and you guys are here. But see how sticky it is. You have to be careful. It is large. So, oh, I was going to, never mind, hang on. I got to put it back on here. Forgot, I need to season the chalkboard. I'm just going to show you how to do that too. It is a large transfer, so you do have to be careful with it. So first thing I wanted to show you was how to season a chalkboard. So seasoning, hello, Miss Amanda. Can't we, I know. Do you like them, Amanda? Like, Amanda, I'm like fully decked out. I've got, what's it called? Amethyst. I have eyeshadow on. I have mascara on. I got lip gloss on, man. I decided summer's over. Maybe I should pay attention. So thank you. It's Madeline Gloss. So for those of you who don't know my amazing friend Amanda and I, and our amazing other friend Tiffany, we are your virtual girls' night out or in friends, and Amanda does color streak, she does great nails, and our friend Tiffany does makeup. Okay, so see what I'm doing? I'm taking a regular old piece of chalk, and I'm literally taking it on its side, and it's a little bit like that expression, fingernails on a chalkboard, the sound. I've never had it make that noise before. You just go back and forth, go in both directions, and what you're doing is you're seasoning it. Similar, it always makes me think of cast iron when I do this. But yes, Amanda, I cannot wait to see you on Tuesday as well. I'm looking very forward to getting back to normal. So for those of you who don't know, I participate in a program on Tuesdays called Mom Time at church. Okay, so I have it all full of chalk now, and now I'm just going to wipe it off. And that will season your chalkboard. So what I'm doing is I'm getting chalk in all those little itty bitty crevices, and you know, it's kind of like filling it in. But I don't always season. I do season if I ever think there's a possibility that I might wash it off. And I sincerely doubt I am ever washing this off. My only thought was when we move, I might want to put something different on it because I might have to put it in a different place. And we're not moving for years, so just in case. Because it's a beautiful chalkboard. It's kind of a statement piece chalkboard, so I do want to keep it around. So that's how you season it. So that's your first trick when you use a non-Chalk Couture chalkboard. I do recommend, if you think that there's any possibility ever that you're going to wash it off, it can be years down the road, season your chalkboard. That's your first step. The second step we're going to talk about, again, I'm going to show you, is the whole, oh my gosh, you got a big ginormous transfer here, right? So you carefully remove your backer sheet, set your backer sheet aside. This is important, and because it's so large, be careful with it, because you don't want it to get crumpled up, okay? Now, you could fuzz this transfer. I'm not going to. Okay, yeah, I am. What I recommend for fuzzing with a large transfer is a bath towel, which of course I don't have down here. Where are my bath towels? Not that our normal fuzzing towel isn't awesome, because it is totally awesome, but it is not very large compared to this transfer. So normally I would just throw a bath towel on, because the bath towel would cover up the whole thing. But of course my bath towels are all in the wash. Amanda is asking me, is that it is not Amanda. It is a chalkboard I got on clearance because there was something wrong with the chalkboard and my husband cut me a new piece of chalkboard. It had a big old gash in it, and I believe it's from Hobby Lobby. I can look, when we put the transfer on it and I flip it over, I will look on the back of it, but I'm pretty sure it's from Hobby Lobby. It's old. I've had it for a long time. They have a very similar, last time I was there, I don't go to Hobby Lobby very often, they had a very similar one that had more like little dots here. But it is a beautiful big statement piece chalkboard, and I love the big statement piece chalkboards. I have several of them in my home. The ones I have in my home are Chalk Couture. We don't sell them anymore. Once, for a little blip, they came back with one. Christina is asking me, why did I chalk it like it did? Christina, what I did was I seasoned the chalkboard, and I did that because it's not a Chalk Couture chalkboard. It is the pieces of chalkboard that you buy at Home Depot or Lowe's that you can cut. You can buy chalkboards at them that are 4 feet by 2 feet. And again, I got this chalkboard on clearance because the chalkboard was damaged. So my husband cut me a new piece of chalkboard and we replaced it. So I ended up with a gorgeous chalkboard for little to no money. So that's why, Christina, is I seasoned it in the event that I'm ever going to wash it off. Seasoning helps with shadowing and just the filling in the little texture to the chalkboard. I don't season chalkboards often, but if I do, and I don't season Chalk Couture chalkboards ever, because you don't need to. There's no reason to. But I do it sometimes with a non-Chalk Couture one. Okay, so I have this very large transfer that I'm going to try really hard not to have the sticky part stick to the sticky part. So don't be afraid of big transfers. When I first started with the company, a lot of years ago now it feels like, I was very afraid of large transfers and would not touch them. It took me a good year before I even purchased my first like E-size transfer. And after I did, I'm like, what the heck was I so nervous about? This was not a big deal. Okay, maybe it wasn't a year. Maybe it was the holidays. But it took me a while to warm up to a big transfer. Big transfers are just as easy to create with as smaller transfers are. It's just that one little step of placement. So the key to placement of a large transfer is fuzz it so that you have some wiggle room with it, and being careful that you don't fold it in on itself. The other tricky thing with large transfers is washing them. So many people take them and they put them right in a bathtub, or they stick them you can stick them on the wall in your shower and wash them in your shower. Many people I've heard do that. I don't do that. I take them, I have a stationary sink on the other side of the wall here. I take it to the stationary sink. I take a wash bin you know, like my water bath, upside down, and I put the transfer on the base. It doesn't completely fit, you know, because my stationary tub is not the size of the transfer. But once your transfer is wet, it's not sticky anymore. So it's very easy to clean them that way. But many people put them right in their bathtub, or they stick them in their shower, and that's how they clean them. But don't be afraid of big transfers. Big transfers are very easy to use. They're stunning, absolutely stunning when they're done. They create beautiful statement pieces for your home. And they're just as easy to use as an A-size transfer, which is 5 by 7. This is 18 by 24. This is a big transfer, but it will be gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous when it's done. I'm going to customize it to the colors that I want it to be. I can customize the sentiment if I choose to. I'm not going to in this case, but I could if I wanted to. I mean, you have so much creative freedom with these things, but don't be afraid of big. Go big or go home, people. You can do it, I promise. So I'm going to take my transfer, and I'm gonna oops, it's upside down. So just so like that. You know, just be careful when you're doing it that you don't flip it together. So now, see how I fuzzed it? I can move it around. If I hadn't fuzzed it, it would be sticking immediately, and it would make it more challenging to make sure you're straight, make sure you're centered. But see, again, I can move it because I fuzzed it. So there's ways to make it very easy. Now I have seen people take a transfer like this and take their big boy handled squeegee, this big guy, and go like this to get the air out. I don't do that, and I don't recommend that you do that. Your hand works just fine. And the reason that I don't recommend that you use your squeegee is because it puts a lot of pressure, more pressure than your hand does, on the actual transfer when you don't have it sealed down yet. Now obviously it does the same thing when you put paste on it, right? But it's not sealed yet. So I just use my hand and make sure I've got all my air bubbles out and that everything is sealed. This is easier to do on this type of transfer because it's all little words. It's harder to do when you've got big pieces of screen versus these little tiny screens. We have more sticky part of transfer than we have screen part of transfer in this one. But I don't ever recommend that you go like this too. A lot of people do this. I don't do this. Although I just did it to show you, but don't do it. I mean, there's really no right or wrong, but I don't recommend you do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the Darling As Only You Can in Gold Shimmer. Again, the transfer itself has words that are wider than the other words, so they will appear bold right on it. So you don't need to do it in multiple colors. This transfer will be gorgeous all in one color. But I do want to, my daughter's really into gold right now, so I am going to do the top and the bottom in gold. You could go in here and in the bold words, you could do those in a different color too. Again, completely customizing it to the way you want it to be. But you don't have to do any of that. It will be gorgeous in just one color. So don't be afraid. So I'm going to open up this is Dune, right? Yep, Dune. So we're going to do the main part in Dune, the cursive script we're going to do in Gold Shimmer. And this is going to take us about 2 seconds to do. That's the other nice thing about large transfers. You think they're going to, oh my gosh, it's going to take me so long. Bing, bang, boom, you're done. Because you can use a larger squeegee and just whoosh, and you're done, which is what we're going to do. You can use a smaller squeegee. If you only have a small squeegee, I mean, it's just the same thing. Whoosh, whoosh, or you can go this way. It's not going to take a ton. If you were going to do multiple colors on this one, you would do the paste and peel method, which if you're not familiar with that is, what it is you paste and then you peel and lay it back down, and paste and peel and lay it back down. Some people take it all the way off and wait for it to dry and lay it back down. Some people just pick it up and put it right back down. That's what I choose to do, but there's no right or wrong. Again, it's very hard to mess this up. You can, but it's not that hard, it's not that easy to mess it up, and you can wash it off. So if you do mess it up, it's not a big deal. It washes off. So I've rambled more than it's going to take us to actually do this project. So I am going to grab, it's a really big chalkboard. I'm going to grab my star stick, and I'm just going to take big old globs of Dune, and I'm going to put it down. This is way more paste than I need, but again, I'm not worried about it because I just put it right back in my paste container. Way more paste than I need. Okay, I'm going to take this, I call this the big boy. This is the 4-inch handled squeegee. What's nice about this squeegee is it's angled already. You don't have to apply. A lot of people put, you don't need pressure. It does the work for you because of how it's angled. It's created. So if you have wrist issues, any kind of arthritis, any of that kind of stuff, this really is a nice, wow, I have way too much paste in here. I mean, look at, that's like a lot. It's like half a jar of paste extra I put in here. So you just sort of plop it right back in your container. But this squeegee does a lot of the work for you. So if you're ever having issues getting the right angle or the right pressure, this squeegee does it all. I'm just smoothing out my lines. Oops, I missed a little part of silkscreen over here. So I'm just filling that in with paste. And, oops, I missed all my little edges. And just smooth out any lines that you have because you will see them when you pull your transfer off. And you can see on your silkscreen, did you get it all? Okay, again, take all that excess, I put it right back in my container. Set my squeegee down, oops. Set my paste container down. And I'm going to take my small squeegee now. Again, angled side goes right in my gold. You can't see this, I don't think. And I'm just going to go over the darling. This is a beautiful transfer. Okay, so I'm just covering up the silk screen with my smaller squeegee now. Now we're using the gold shimmer. Again, take all that excess, put it right back in my container. Okay. We've used gold shimmer more in the last couple weeks than I've used gold shimmer. Oh, I wish you could see this in person. This is amazing. I am actually going to pull it a little farther because I got part of the L right here. I got part of the L. Can you see that? I think you can see that. I got part of the L that I want to be gold. So I'm actually going to pull the whole transfer off carefully because, again, this is where I get in trouble with it sticking together. I'm going to set it behind me, sticky side up. Okay, so see here, I got part of this silk screen that I want to be gold. Very easy fix. Voila. That's how easy it is. My chalk paste is, oops. Just don't get the word that you didn't want to get, like I just did. I always say, you know, right, wait till it's dry. Just get a little bit of water. And again, because I seasoned the chalkboard with the chalk, comes right off. Okay. Dry it off. Voila. I'm going to show you what we have so far because I need it to dry before I can lay my transfer back down and do the bottom half, but I am going to wash off my squeegee real quick. This is a really amazing color combination. Holy cow. This is really pretty. She is going to love this. So I'm putting this in the hallway. So some people, I'll show you, this guy comes out. Some people take it out and use it this way, or they use it in the handle. You can do it either way. It's a very, and then it just clicks right in. It's a very nice squeegee to have. I call it the big boy. I don't use it often, but when I do use it, it's a very, very nice tool to have, and it really makes light work of big projects. But it's not necessary. You can get it done with a small squeegee too. I got chalk paste all over me. All right, I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. Give me a sec here. I should probably dry it first because I'm inevitably going to stick my finger in it. But this is what we have so far. Oh, this This sucker is heavy. Can you see it? So this is what we have so far. And see how those bolder words just stick out? Again, you could have done them in a different, we could have done them in a different color, but I didn't want to do them in a different color. I think this is really elegant in the colors that it is. So I'm going to lay it back down, I'm going to dry it, and I'm going to show you. Gosh, this chalkboard is heavy. Holy cow. Whoa. Okay, so we're going to dry it. I'm going to show you how you lay your transfer back down and then redo the part that I got the chalk paste where I didn't want it. Chalk paste dries very quickly, and you can tell right away when it's dry because it goes from being shiny to being matte. This is really pretty. Like, this turned out way better. So I have had this project literally sitting in the corner here for about 6 months, waiting to be made. And tonight, I don't know, tonight it just got made. There's a few projects over there. You know, they're your like personal projects. You know when you're a crafter, that happens, right? Your personal projects always get set aside until you know you have that minute, and then you seem to never ever have that minute or make the minute to do it. I am gonna re-season it because it does look. Where did my chalk go? So Sheila, I'm sorry, I know my glasses are being weird. Sheila, you're far away from me today because of the size of this chalkboard. I got this chalkboard at Hobby Lobby a very long time ago, and I only bought it because it was expensive, because it was damaged and I could fix it. There we go. So because I washed that little spot off, it washed my seasoning off. So I just needed to re-season that so my sheen was the same on the whole thing. So now I can't even tell that I washed that off. Okay, I need to turn it because my cord's not. Oh my gosh, this sucker is heavy. Whew, he's heavy. This is really pretty. I'm really kind of digging the gold shimmer, and I have never been a gold shimmer fan. Isn't that funny how our tastes change? I'm definitely a creature of habit. You know, I tend to like the same colors and use the same colors. But I'm just, it dries super fast. You can tell right away. And I'm just spending an extra second on the bold words because obviously they have more chalk than the skinny little words. And obviously the shimmer. She is gonna love this. So I'm actually hanging this on the wall in our upstairs hallway to their bedrooms. She has, when you go up the stairs in her house, you go one way and that's her bedroom, and the other way is the boys' bedrooms. So she has like her own wall. You know, you go up the stairs, you go, and hers has a wall right before you go into her bedroom. And the artwork that's there currently, we probably outgrew 8 years ago when we moved in. You know, it's little kitty artwork. And, you know, we're a 13-year-old now, so we need big, mature artwork. Okay, so now I'm all done, right? Except for that sentence that I picked up so that I could fix. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take my transfer and see what I just did. I just did exactly what I keep telling you don't do. So I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to carefully pull it apart. Also, easier to solve because I fuzzed the transfer. So again, it provides that barrier. So now I take my transfer and I I'm gonna lay it back down. This is why you need to make sure it's dry, because if it's not dry, you'll pull your paste off. Not as easy to do if your transfer is not clean, because you can't always see through it. I do not have this lined up right. So it's very easy to line your transfers up because you can see the chalk through the silk screen. So the only part I have to reseal is the part I haven't done. The rest of this I'm just letting sit there, but you can see through the silk screen, you can see the chalk underneath. So you know you're perfectly lined up. It's very easy to know. So now I'm going to take my gold, load up my squeegee, and we're just going to do the one line at the bottom that I messed up on. My gold shimmer is super thick because it's really old, because I don't usually use gold shimmer. It's just a recent new love, so I'm going to need to get a new one. But it works just fine, it's just thicker, more thick. We're just doing that one line, making sure I have everything, putting my extra chalk back in my paste container. Hey, Kara! It is big. And voila. I take this, I'm going to again put it sticky side up until I can get it to my sink. And, hang on, let me, quick. How are you doing, Kara? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're good. Okay, so I'm just closing up my chalk. You don't want to leave it, especially when it's dry like this because it's so old, you don't want to leave it out too long in the elements. You know, like, well, as soon as you're done with it, wash it off or close it up. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it just, your paste lasts longer the less they're in the air. But you notice I've left my, oh, this is so big you can't see. I've left this one open the whole time. But again, this one's not dry. The other one is like one of my original golds. But I did make a huge mess on my container. I need to clean that up. Clean up the edges on your containers because it makes it very challenging sometimes to open your paste containers when your chalk paste dries in them, in the ridges. Boy, I got this everywhere. Ooh, you've been busy. I'm good too. Thank you, Kara, for asking. We have been busy as well. Back to school and lots of sports. We're usually a baseball and basketball sport family. And my second oldest son, well, I guess I'm going to totally lie now. My oldest is a pole vaulter for college. So but pole vaulting doesn't really get going until December. So then and most of those meets are far away, so I get to go to like 2 meets at college. Otherwise, you know, they're driving and staying in hotel rooms and doing stuff. And what college 20-year-old kid wants his mom showing up in Dubuque, Iowa, or wherever he happens to be at that moment? But my second oldest is a cross-country runner, and that's going strong right now. But my little two usually don't do that many sports. And it's like right now, all of a sudden, we're doing all kinds of sports. Hey, Miss Terry. You know what, Terry? I knew you had one of these frames. Ooh, you do marching band and golf. That's a lot, too. I knew you had one of these frames. So I bought this frame, Terry, and oh my gosh, this sucker is heavy. And the chalkboard was damaged. Okay, this is beautiful. So I'm going to hang this on the wall right outside her bedroom. I could put it in her bedroom, but I would be messing with the teenage girl mojo she's got going on in there. And I'm sure she would be appalled. Well, I don't know. her room is really cute. No 13-year-old's room should be as organized and put together as hers is. Oh, your comments are going by. The E closer to the bottom. Oh, yeah. I got a little bit of chalk I need to wash off. I'm waiting for it to dry, though, before I do that. Hang on. I got to get your comments closer to me. I can't read them, and they're scrolling by fast. Hey, Jesse. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday, too. You are sports heavy right now, too. Yep, cross country and soccer. Thank you, Terry. The E close to the bottom. Yeah, this E right here, he's got a little smudge. That's because of the chalk that was on the transfer when I laid it back down, but that'll wash right off. Yeah, right now, I mean, my son's playing flag football. He's never played flag football, which is very fun to watch. And we're doing basketball. I mean, it's crazy right now. But anyway, so this is a retired transfer. It's called Darling. I do have one, though. If somebody wants one, just message me. And we used Dune, Gold Shimmer, and I don't think Hobby Lobby has these. Yep, it's a Hobby Lobby frame. It's a Hobby Lobby frame, but I don't think they have them anymore. I've had this for a long time. So, that is all I've got for you tonight. Thank you for hanging out with me. Happy Sunday, soon to be Monday. I will be back at you tomorrow night. Oh my gosh. I don't know why this thing is. Probably because it's huge. And it's like a real wood frame, I think. But that's what I got. So thanks. I'll see you tomorrow night. Have a fantastic Monday. And if you want to check out any of these amazing products, you can go right to www.chalkcouture.com/makingmaria. Except this particular transfer is retired, but I do have one if somebody wants it. Thanks, guys. Have a great Monday. See ya.